Hi, I'm Antonio Pacifici, and I'm going to talk to you about doing business in countries that have human rights violations. Business managers and leaders need to be aware of the human rights conditions of countries that they operate in. It can be costly to do business in countries that have ongoing problems with human rights. Examining three of the United States' largest trade partners, this report details the trade information of China, Mexico, and Saudi Arabia, and the current state of human rights violations in each. According to a 2013 report by GlobalTrends.com on the most recent data from 2012, 40 of the top 100 economic entities in the world are corporations. Not counting the 9 largest countries, all totaled, the top 200 corporations in the world have more economic power than all 186 remaining countries combined. There are now over 40,000 corporations worldwide that participate in international trade. As influential and powerful members of the global society, corporations need to be aware of the human rights violations that occur within the countries they conduct their business with. There are both legal and financial ramifications to benefiting, intentionally or accidentally, from human rights violations. Even just doing business inside of a country that is suffering from human rights violations can have dire consequences, such as situations where trade sanctions are enacted. Business managers and leaders need to communicate and stay informed of the status of the regions they do business in to make responsible decisions concerning the operations of their companies. This report will cover some of the largest trade partners with the United States, describing their trade statistics and recent violations. Using data gathered by the U.S. Census Bureau, this report is arranged by countries in order of their total trade with the United States from larger to smaller. The countries chosen for examination were China, Mexico, and Saudi Arabia. The chosen countries were decided by two factors. The first factor was to only include countries which were ranked by the non-governmental organization Freedom House as having a ranking of not free or worse in the three categories of freedom rating, political rights, and civil liberties. This map shows varying degrees of freedom in the world ranging from free to fairly free to not free and to the worst of the worst. Take a minute to examine this. Additionally, the second factor was only to include countries listed in the top 15 of United States trade partners. This chart shows the top U.S. trade partners as of 2014, listing them from highest to lowest. The first country I'll talk about is China. China is currently the second largest trade partner with the United States. Total trade with China exceeds $590 billion in 2014. That's an increase of 5% over the 2013 figures. They are currently our largest supplier of goods internationally, accounting for almost 20% of all imports received. According to Amnesty International, an estimated 500,000 people are currently incarcerated in China without charge. Most citizens have little to no access to the legal system. Internet and other media censorship is also common. China also leads the world in executions. The next country I'll talk about is Mexico. As a member of the North American Free Trade Agreement, Mexico is the third largest trade partner with the United States. Trade with Mexico was an estimated $536 billion in 2012. The United States buys more than 75% of all Mexican exports, and Mexico currently operates a number of maquiladora facilities that allow for duty and tariff-free manufacturing. The largest problem affecting Mexico currently is the high frequency of homicides. In 2010 alone, there were 12,456 reported homicides. Mass abductions of migrants have also been reported by Amnesty International. Violations committed by members of the military are not unheard of, especially that of gender-based violence against women. The last country I'm going to talk to you about is Saudi Arabia. As the 12th largest trade partner with the United States, Saudi Arabia is our largest trade partner in the Middle East. The largest portion of trade comes from the import of crude oil. 52 billion of the 71 billion in trade that was done in 2013 came from crude oil alone. Despite the large percentage of trade dedicated to oil, they were the 19th largest export market for the United States in 2013. Listed as one of the worst human rights offenders, Saudi Arabia has long had a history of extreme discrimination against women. Women are prevented from receiving a passport, marrying, or receiving a higher education without a male guardian's approval. Migrant workers, who make up more than half the workforce, are widely exploited. There is also widespread suppression of any criticism of the government. With the economic strength that corporations have, there is a certain responsibility to avoid benefiting from or participating in human rights violations. It is important for business leaders and managers to stay informed and communicate on what is going on in the countries they operate in so that they may make responsible decisions. Knowing the human rights conditions of countries one does business in is the first step to avoiding potential legal or consumer financial problems a company may face. Again, I'm Antonio Pacifici, and thank you for your time.